Hey, Chandler Bolt here, and in this video I want to talk about what does it look like to create a meritocracy at your company and what this looks like at self-publishing school. Now at self-publishing school always has been and always will be a meritocracy. Now I started saying this word and repeating this word, and then I finally realized, I got enough blank stares that I realized that not everyone knows what this means, because not everyone knows the concept or has the context around a meritocracy. So in this video I want to walk through what is it, why does it matter, and why should you create a meritocracy in your company? And then how do you reinforce that, or what does that look like at self-publishing school? So first off, a meritocracy in its simplest form, it's an organism or a regulating body or whatever you want to call it. So a company where people get opportunities based on merit. So people get rewarded based on merit. People get incentives based on merit. People get evaluated and promoted based on merit. They get raises based on merit. Everything in the company is a merit-based system, okay? So this is not based on seniority. This is not based on tenure. This is not based on the people that you like the most or the people that the leaders like the most. And so this is, I found, one of the best ways to squeeze out politics from your organization. Now, politics, like at self-publishing school, we have a no politics policy. All right, if you have a problem with someone, you talk to them about it, and there's no politicking, there's no rallying, there's no behind the scenes conversations that lead to better opportunities or anything like that. And if you have politics in your company, that is the opposite of meritocracy. And so my goal in everything is to make it clear, to make it objective, and to make it fair. Because then we're not worried about all the politics, how do I navigate that, all those things, because politics slows things down and ruins the effectiveness of your people, all right? So that's a meritocracy. It's opportunities, promotions, etc., based on merit, not based on politics, tenure, anything like that. Now, one of the best ways that I've seen this explained is through college football. And if you know me well, you know that I'm a big Clemson football fan. I'm a big fan of Dabo Swinney. I think he's one of the best leaders of all time. And he talks about this, is how their team is a meritocracy, and really a football team has to be. And really what that means is the best players play. Okay, the best players play. And I think that that analogy just holds so true in the business world as well. It's like the best players play, the best players get opportunities, promoted, etc. All right. Now and so in that context, he says it doesn't matter if you're a first year, if you're a third year, it doesn't matter if you're a 5-star, if you're a 2-star, if you're a no star, if you're a walk-on, right? The best player is going to play. And so here's why this matters, and here's why this is important, and I'll use the context of football as well as business, is when you have a meritocracy, well, guess what? You're able to do two things, and this is really the two biggest reasons why this matters. Number one, you're able to recruit better talent. All right, so in the football context, you get better players to show up because they know if I earn the spot, I'm going to get the starting spot, or I'm going to get playing time, and I can control that because I can earn it. It's not anything outside of my control. And then number two, it's going to lead to a better, more motivated team long term because there's a clear path. People know this is what I need to do to get better. This is what I need to perform at a better level. Like once you get better people at your company, they're going to perform better long term. So not only are you going to attract the best talent because of being a meritocracy, but you're also going to keep and develop that best talent because you are a meritocracy. Now think about this. This is one of the big things that attracted me to entrepreneurship. And I think we can clone this inside our organization. Is if you're an entrepreneur, it doesn't matter what race you are, it doesn't matter what religion you believe in, it doesn't matter what sexual orientation you have, it doesn't matter how many years of experience that you have. All that matters is can you get the job done and can you add value, right? And your wealth or your finances, all those things is really just a measure of how much value are you adding. So I love that because it evens the playing field. Right? And so I might be a college dropout, I might not have a business degree, that doesn't matter. Can I add value? Right? And so my goal in my company, I'd encourage you to make this your goal in your company, is to create that same meritocracy where it doesn't matter if you have a degree, it doesn't matter if you have made straight A's in college, it doesn't matter if you've been here 5 years, 10 years, whatever, you're still re-earning your existing spot, right? And you're going to get promoted, you're going to get opportunities, you're going to get all those things based on merit, not on anything else that's outside of your control. So we're in the home stretch here. Now you know what is it, why is it important? Now let's talk about how do you create this culture on your team? And really I want to dive into 4 specific ways that you can create or enforce a meritocracy in your company. Number 1, clearly communicate this value to everyone on your team early and often. right? So you need to clearly communicate what is it, and these are the rules of the game, right? So maybe you send the people on your team this video, or maybe if you're as part of self-publishing school, you're watching this video, and that's because we want to reinforce that expectation and set that expectation. So you should set this expectation as part of the onboarding process, but then you're going to have to remind people, because sometimes you're going to have people complain like, hey, you gave so-and-so that opportunity, why not me? And every time, I love this because I'm able to reinforce the concept of a meritocracy. I'm going to say, hey, they earned it. So you did not earn it. And here's what you can do to earn it. So it's not because I don't like you and because I like them better. I really like it, but you didn't earn it. And I'm going to give you the opportunity to earn it. And guess what? You actually already had the opportunity to earn it. And so you can reinforce that core value of truly running a meritocracy. Number 2, and this is super important, you have to be objective in your promotions, in your evaluations, in your raises, and all those things. And this is kind of the flip side of the coin, or the double-edged sword of running a meritocracy, is that you have to be fair and objective. And if you're not, people will call you on that, right? So you got to make sure that your evaluation process, your raise process, and when you're giving people opportunities, that it's not fair, it's based on merit. And so that's the thing. It's like a lot of times a meritocracy isn't fair necessarily, but it is based on merit. Because when people think fairness, they think time, or like, hey, I really like you, or I've worked really hard, or, we built this relationship. This is not fair. And so it's not fair in the sense that you're showing special treatment or anything like that, but it is fair in the sense that it's objective. Right? So I think there's a little bit of a difference between fair and objective, but you need to make sure that everything is clear and you are clearly and objectively promoting people, giving people raises, all those things. Number 3, do what's right, even if it's tough. Okay. When you do have a meritocracy, I remember a couple years ago, the Clemson Tigers, as Trevor Lawrence came in, and there was an existing quarterback, Kelly Bryant, and he was a 5th-year senior. He'd done all the right things. He was an amazing person, just great team player, great guy. I think he led us to the national championship the year before. And so it's like, this was his moment. And then you've got this really great freshman coming in, and a few games into the season, Dabo had to make the tough decision. He said, Trevor's better, right? And it ended up, this was a tough decision, and Kelly Bryant actually ended up transferring out of the program. And so sometimes you've got to do what's right, even if it's tough. And actually, I'd say always you've got to do what's right, even if it's tough. And so just by the nature of having a meritocracy, sometimes that means, and this has been really painful for me in a leadership position, you've got trust, you've got a track record, you've got kind of this mutual respect, and over years and years and years. And sometimes you just got to say, hey, you didn't earn this, and I really hate to do this, but I'm going to promote that person, right? Who maybe is newer to the company. I'm going to hire someone above you. Maybe I've got to demote you. And so I'm going to pull you out of a position and a rung down potentially. And it can be really tough, but you have to make the right decision, even if it's the tough decision. And that leads me to point number 4, which is if you have to make a tough decision, talk with people ahead of time, okay? So I see sometimes people will take this to the extreme. It's like, hey, sucks to suck. It's a meritocracy. You didn't earn it, right? And I've certainly been that guy in the past where it's just I'm kind of really hard on people and just, hey, it's a meritocracy. Sorry, right? And I've just found that that's the total wrong way to do it. And so instead, now what I do is I just preempt that conversation, and I'll have multiple conversations, and I'll try to bubble this up to the surface, or maybe I won't have time, and I've just got to clearly communicate. It's like, hey, I want to talk to you first. I'm going to have to make a tough decision. This is really tough for me. This is difficult for me. I know that you're probably not going to be happy with this, and I'm sorry, and I wish I could change it. I can't. Here's the thing, right? And I'm using this to reinforce the concept of a meritocracy. Like, you're underperforming, you didn't earn it, and here's the reason why this is happening. But then also, and this is an important last step, here's what you can do to improve, and I'm sure there will be another opportunity in the future, right? So now we're giving them critical feedback that they can improve on, but also reminding them about the nature of the game is they didn't earn this thing, right? So I'm having a tough conversation preemptively when I have to make a tough decision based on running a meritocracy. So that's how you create the culture of a meritocracy on your team. I'll leave you with this. So the last thing I kind of want to say here is it's very easy, and I kind of already alluded to this, but it's very easy for the pendulum to swing too far. You run a meritocracy, it's like, all right, it's all about the numbers. It's what have you done for me lately? Are you performing? Like all those things. And you can lose the people element. So I would encourage you that these two things do not have to be mutually exclusive. And I think sometimes the critique of a meritocracy is like, oh, it's inhuman. Like, where's the personal relationship relationship in that. But you can build great relationships and value people and keep people at the front of the business and at the same time run a meritocracy. And I'd argue that they actually work together if you do it the right way. So don't swing too far. Don't become just numbers based, recency bias, like all those things. Like I truly believe in loyalty. I truly believe in developing people and helping people, like all those things. And these two things don't have to be mutually exclusive. They can coexist in this environment. All right, so there you have it. That's why a meritocracy matters. What is it? How do you create it on your team? I'd love to hear your takeaways. Comment below this video. So scroll below this video right now. What do you think about this video? What were your takeaways? How can you implement this on your team or in your company? Implement a meritocracy, or maybe you think this is horrible, right? Maybe you think meritocracy, it can go too far. It's like capitalism. I don't believe in that. So maybe you totally disagree. That's fine too. Scroll below and let me know your disagreements in the comments, and I can't wait to read those. I read and respond to every single comment. So I think we'll have a fun dialogue around takeaways and maybe even some disagreements in the comments. So scroll below this video right now, comment on this video. As always, click the like button and then subscribe to this channel, so the 7-Figure Principles show, and also subscribe to the 7-Figure Principles podcast. If you haven't checked out the podcast, it's amazing. It's the audio versions of these videos. I'd love for you to check that out. Subscribe there. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.